I know the game's not over, but might as well be over for us Rams fans as we look to be losing to these Cardinals and not coming out with a win today. One of the toughest games I'd say that we've watched in a while. I mean, yeah, you have that divisional Packers game that we lost, but this game was just bad to watch on so many different levels. Like, you talk about the execution and you talk about the expectations coming into this game. Yes, it's any given Sunday for a team to come in and beat your team. You really shouldn't factor in who you're playing to say, oh, this is an easy win. But I'm pretty sure a lot of us were saying, I knew this game would be close, but I'm pretty sure a lot of us were thinking that the Rams were going to come out with a win today, and it was nothing close to that. And from the start, you could kind of just tell we were off and we were not executing. We did not have the best game plan, and just straight up, the Cardinals wanted to win this game more than the Rams. That's just something that I just took away. It just seems like this game was something that just seemed like, yeah, it's a proving point for these Cardinals, for Cliff Kingsbury to get over the hump, to beat Sean McVay finally. It just seemed like they wanted to come in and they wanted to make a statement, and they made it loud against our Rams. And it kind of reminded me of us when we played the Patriots last year, and we just wanted to come in, make a statement, and we did that. We destroyed the Patriots. We were controlling time of possession. We were running. We were passing all over, and so it's just bottom line we were not executing. Bottom line we did not have a good game plan, and it just seemed like we couldn't stop the Cardinals. And when we were on offense, we were not clicking like we usually do. And all of this is just coming back to bite us in the end to take a divisional loss L, which is never what you want. And so I'll get into more of that, but let me read into some of these comments. We got Wildman Samurai saying, bottom line is the Cardinals are just a better football team. I would say the Cardinals and the Packers are the best teams in the NFC. Maybe our Rams can get there next year. We must fix our defense. Now, to be honest, Wildman Samari, I feel like the Rams are still an amazing team. I still feel like we have the shot to go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. So this one loss is not telling me that we don't have the team to go there, and does not tell me that we are worse than the Cardinals, because to be honest, I feel like we still can beat the Cardinals. I still feel like there are plenty of opportunities to beat the Cardinals, but we just were completely off this game. It's just, again, straight up, we weren't executing, we were not playing up to the level. We had some plays that were coming up, we had some plays that we've made before, but we just simply were not making them. So yeah, the Cardinals are a good team, and stopping Kyler Murray is going to be a problem all year. But at the same time, they've come close to losing to the Vikings and the Jaguars as well. And so I wouldn't give up on us just yet, to be honest, guys. I know a lot of people are. I'm not at that point right now. I'm definitely frustrated, but I'm not at that point. Let's see. Ernest Jones scared me. Man, there was like three plays where he just completely took the wrong step. Like the whole AZ went left and he went to the right and got him a free 10 yards. Yeah, there's just a lot of executional things that I feel like completely need to be cleaned up. If we want to win a game in general versus any team, I don't know if we could have done that versus any team. The execution we had was just bad. It seemed like Stafford was off. It seemed like something that the Cardinals defense was doing was really affecting him. And it seemed like, to be honest, the morale of the whole team, but mainly the offense and the wide receivers, was just completely down. Something that did not make sense to me is when we just, Daryl Henderson was running the ball really well, and we kept shying away from that, going for the passes, going for deep passes. Yes, I love those, but when you got something working, keep going with it, especially if it's earlier in the game. You don't need to take that deep shot. I love to see those deep shots. I love to see huge touchdowns, but to be honest, our run game was working. I don't know why we didn't stick to that. And again, we just were not executing in the least bit to what we need to be doing. Seemed like everything was just completely off this game. And yeah, you could pin it on the defense. Honestly, I feel like we just really could not stop these Arizona Cardinals on the offensive side. But still, at the same time, I just feel like our offense needs to do better, needs to click, and it's just, I don't know. There were so many things wrong with this game, and X says McVay did a horrible game. Yeah, to be honest, this was definitely not his best showing, and the play calling was a little bit suspect. But again, those play calling or not, there were some just complete executional errors that just really jumped off the screen to me. And if we executed right, like the way we were supposed to, and on some of those throws Stafford was making where guys were open, or you see the throws that he normally makes, he was missing. So it just seemed like there was just a ton wrong with this game, a ton of executional things. But I agree with you. It was not a well called McVay game, in my opinion, either. Totally Not Jay says, why does this always happen to us when we face quarterbacks who are dual threats like Lamar? I wouldn't say it always happens to us. I mean, take a look at what we've done to the Cardinals over the last couple of years with Kyler Murray, and take a look at what we've done to the Seahawks. We've still been able to beat them, and to be honest, again, it's not all on the defensive side. Yes, they were giving up plays, they're giving up chunk plays, they're giving up things here and there, and you don't want to let the time of possession be dominated by one team, but to be honest, it was our offense as well who was not executing, who was not getting the points. Because, okay, if your defense is not going to go out there and make the stops and make those plays to keep them under a certain amount of points, you're going to have to continue to match them. That's what the Rams have been able to do and put up points after points after points over the last few weeks, and we just couldn't do that today. So I'm not putting it all on the defensive side. I just think there's execution on both sides, but the offense just to me really stood out today that morale was down and we were not executing up to what championship caliber teams do, and that definitely needs to be corrected, especially when we have a short week going into Seattle on Thursday night. Totally Not Jay, this is why I'm scared of the Ravens. We'll see when we get there, man. Let's see. Will Roberts says, I hope we didn't get complacent after we beat the Bucks. I mean, that could be one way of looking at it. I don't see it that way. I just honestly think this is a game Cliff Kingsbury outcoached us, and the Cardinals wanted this win way more than we did. And that just, again, that showed. And they were on their P's and Q's. They were playing physical football. I mean, some of the hits were kind of getting annoying to me when it was a pass and it wouldn't be a complete, like that huge hit on Cooper Kupp, and some of the really physical plays where they would hit you when you don't even have the ball, those were kind of getting on my nerves. But to be honest, the Cardinals earned it. They wanted it more. They outcoached us. Every facet, we lost this game, and there were chances to win it early on, but we just kind of threw it away. So not a good game at all by us. Hopefully we can make a turnaround, though. It's not the dual threat thing it's not the dual threat thing. Like, we kill Wilson when we play them. Granted, they have a bad line. It's either them being cocky from the win last week and tackling week, or off of bad scheming. Yeah, great point, man. I completely agree with you. I don't think it's the dual threat QBs that get us. I just think today overall was bad executional errors. Again, the coaching wasn't good, and again, if your defense is going to be giving up points on the offensive side, especially with the addition of Stafford and the offensive genius you have at head coach, you're expected to go out there and match points, and we just did not do that today. Darrell Henderson was averaging 8 yards a carry. Yeah, exactly, man. I don't know really why we went away from Darrell Henderson. I understand when it gets later in the game and we are down by a lot, you can't be running the ball, but we shied away from it earlier. After he was doing good, we went right to the pass, and I feel like that's one of the reasons we went wrong. Crintosaurus says, fire Raheem Morris. He's actually atrocious. I mean, to a degree, I could agree with that maybe, but I don't think that you fire him. And like, the offense was so frustrating to go out and watch for the Cardinals, to just go down and put down these long drives and these successful drives on us back to back to back to back to back. And yeah, Raheem Morris didn't do the best job either, but I'm not at that point where I want him fired quite yet. And again, if there's going to be points allowed, you're going to have to be responding. And that Cardinals secondary really isn't the best. They got some good players on that defense, but there are some positions on that where I feel like they could have taken advantage, and it just seemed like we were completely antsy. We were just not executing to the level we needed to. Exactly, it's one game, man. I completely agree with you. The Dark Savior says, McVay really is ticking me off, and same with Stafford. Some of the plays were just horrible. Yeah, I feel like the coaching and everything like that, executional errors were getting me very frustrated. Stafford, to me, I would give him a pass because of how well he's done through these 3 games. And there actually were some games, or even on that play when we were on the goal line and it was 4th down, we were trying to get it to Higbee on the right side. That was an amazing throw. It was just Higbee couldn't come down with that ball. And so I would give definitely Stafford a pass there. McVay, I just feel like you can't let this type of stuff happen. You got a game plan, and they just came out. They didn't execute right, and so yeah, they were bothering me. But again, Stafford, to me, this is only his fourth game in the Rams system. He's won 3 games. I'm giving him a pass, but I feel like the coaching and the executional errors is really, really something that was bothering me. Let's see. Let's see. I'm not bothered we lost. It's a wake-up call to sharpen up. Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it, man. Definitely something. I feel like the Rams, especially with the type of team they are and the morale that they were feeling leaving this game, I feel like they're going to want to come into Seattle and make a statement on Thursday night. We cannot drop 2 in a row. We definitely cannot, especially to divisional opponents. And I feel like we're going to get, again, to your point, like you said, it's a wake-up call to sharpen up, and we better respond to that call. Totally not Jay says Stafford made some really amazing throws, but geez, what I saw really concerned me. Stafford receivers, defense, everything. Yeah, it was just one of those games all around where everything just did not seem to be going right, flowing right, and going the way that they planned it. So completely agree with you, man. You showing Holmes says, why couldn't we stick with the run and only pass when needed? Yeah, that's a great point. I completely agree with you. I feel like that's kind of been a theme and a habit of McVay. When we are, even if we're running the ball well, he just seems to favor the passing game. And even with the addition of Stafford, it seems like he really likes to pass the ball even more. And that was frustrating me as well, is because we were running it really well with either running back. That turnover Michelle had was definitely very costly, but we were running it really well. I don't know why we went away from it, and I completely agree with you. I don't know why we went right to the pass, because that was one of the reasons we lost. Havenstein was getting worked by JJ. Yeah, and I feel like the pressure all around was just really getting to Stafford, and some of the plays you expect to make, he was not really making. So that hats off to the Cardinals defense, but yeah, we got worked. Crintosaurus says no, Raheem Morris is a problem. Get rid of him. We'll see what happens, man. Preston Murphy says, when they win, you don't say nothing. When they lose, y'all say fire out like it's like the one game you really thought we were going is 17-0. Yeah, exactly. To your point, I completely agree with you on that. I feel like it's just one of those things, especially in the Rams fan base, when things like this happen, they want everybody fired, they want everything removed, and that's just not what's the right word? That's not realistic thinking. I mean, this one game, like you said, and it was a bad game. If this continues over the whole 17-game season, we do this every game, completely agree with you, but it's literally one game. So, let me see here. Gotta shout out my man. Thank you so much. The Dark Saber, the clutch super chatter says McVay needs to get yelled at for those calls on third downs, and same with him on the fourth down calls. Why go for 3 when you're down 14 points? This game just makes no sense. I completely agree with you. Coaching wasn't that good. I appreciate the super chat, man. I really do. But yeah, exactly. I was very confused when we were going to 3 when we were down by 14. That made no sense to me. And the coaching wasn't at its best. The execution wasn't at its best. And our whole team as a complete whole was just all down by this game. We honestly really do need to respond. Let's see. Crintosaurus says, actually, I thought the defense wasn't good for the past 4 weeks, Bucks game. I mean, yeah, some could argue that. You really just got to understand, though, the way that defense operates and what they will let up, and some of the ways that they're schemed up and the way that they're taught. It's kind of a complex defense to the naked eye. A lot of the times people think that is just a defense that gives up yards after yards and points after points, but to me, that obviously is not to Staley's level that we had last year, but I haven't thought that they've played very bad. This game is probably their worst, though. Let's see. I just don't understand how the Jags kept up with them, but we can't. I mean, it's completely different games, different coaching. It's any given Sunday, and it's just completely different situations for sure. But I definitely expected us to come out with a win here in a close game, and we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, it's crazy the way this one ended. Somebody says, Kyler, I'm guessing you're a Arizona Cardinals fan. Congratulations on the win. Hopefully we can get you guys next time. Edwin Osorio says, get rid of Raheem Morris. He has been giving up too many yards the last 4 games. You could look at it in yards. To me, it's really in the end what the points come out to be. We've been pretty well in that department all the way up into this game. We'll see, man, but I'm going to keep riding through it with Morris. Let's see, Preston Murphy. Let's just move on and head to Seattle. Yeah, let's get this bad taste out of our mouth as soon as we can. And again, I feel like with the Seattle game, especially after an embarrassing performance like this, I feel like the Rams are just gonna come out and they're gonna make a statement and they're gonna come out with a win. And hopefully we can do that. But that's kind of the way I see the next game going. William Bloxton says, "Man, have a bad memory and be ready for Thursday." Exactly. That's what this team's got to do. That's what we as fans have to do. Can't wait for that game. Hopefully, we can get a better result. Let's see. Go Cardinals. Defense killed you guys. Number 7 outplayed Ramsey. I disagree with that last point about him outplaying Ramsey just because of an interception. I personally don't agree with that. But your defense absolutely killed us and outplayed us. Congratulations on the win. The unknown break, that was an ugly loss. I completely agree with you. That was not a loss I want to ever relive. William Boxon, they're a good football team. Stay focused. I completely agree with you. We don't need to cut, we don't need to cut Matthew Stafford or Cooper Kupp. We don't need to get rid of Sean McVay. Some of the common comments that I've been seeing by people, that's just not what we need to do realistically. We used to have losses like 12 times a year, every single year in the St. Louis days, so one loss is not going to kill us. Let's see. Grindosaurus, the game should have been a win, but now Raheem Morris is our DC. Again, I do think that played a part in this loss, but you also got to look at the offense, man. We were not clicking, and the executional errors was showing. What the Cardinals were doing on defense as well was really rattling what the Rams wanted to do on offense, so I'm not putting this loss all on Raheem Morris. Darkness, like I said, in the 3-game stretch against Tampa Bay, Arizona, and Seattle just go 2-1. Would have loved to have been 3-0, but 2-1 would have been fine with. Yeah, let's see. It really took me off. How cool and confident Kyler was today. We didn't even get a real hit on him. Yeah, and that penalty when we got the sack with Leonard Floyd really bothered me too, because I was like, really, even when we get a sack, it's gonna be positive for them. Like, it was very frustrating. Let's see, we good though. A short week, small memory. We are gonna bounce back. Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to. Hopefully, we can do that, man. Matt Stafford is giving me a headache. Man, they should have just put in John Wolford. And man, I don't put it all on Matthew Stafford. There were, again, tons of executional errors, and Stafford missed some plays. But to be honest, guys, think back to what would have happened if we had Goff in there. I honestly think it would have been the same result, if not worse. And so, again, Matthew Stafford did not make some of the plays, but again, he's been great through these 3 games, 3 out of the 4 of the games. And he did have some plays where he completely missed. Let's see if he can rebound and do it. I'm pretty sure that we can do this. And, we'll see what happens next game. I don't really like how Raheem Morris is using Jalen. Like having Jalen do everything is cool, but in games like this, taking D-Hop out of the game should have been the number 1 priority. I mean, I agree with you. Sometimes that does bother me as well with not having Ramsey on the number 1. It just worries me, and sometimes it's just mismatches. But to me, honestly, in this Cardinals game, it wasn't DeAndre Hopkins winning the game. It was Kyler Murray, and it was the whole supporting cast on that offense putting it together. I don't think D-Hop really beat us, to be honest with you. I don't think he was the reason for beating us, especially on that offensive side for the Cardinals. But, yeah, sometimes it does bother me as well. William Bloxton, Coach McVay was annoyed with the defense, but I hope he's learned a lot. Yeah, he should learn a lot out of this game, and I feel like we should be humbled out of this game and hopefully come out firing next game. Grindosaurus, so much defensive talent at home, and the Cardinals are dropping 30 on us. Raheem Morris made us look like we were the Falcons level. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man, but I've shared my thoughts on what I think of Raheem Morris. We'll see what happens next week. Hopefully this trend does not continue. I think we can bounce back. Let's see. I don't think you should try to injure a certain player, but you should be hitting, Murray illegally and give him a chance. Oh, yeah, exactly. I don't think that we should have been giving Kyler Murray a chance in that pocket. We were giving him too much time, and even just, again, I don't know how I would defend Kyler Murray with that speed and the quickness. It's definitely very tough, but we made it look easy for them. We got to patch up those holes because teams are going to exploit it. Yeah, exactly. But not everybody has Kyler Murray. Let's see, you can't say on one defense the whole game either. Not sure what you mean by that, but I mean, we'll see what happens there. The unknown brick, we got outcoached and outplayed. Completely agree with you. That's the perfect way of summing it up. Not on only the defensive side, outcoached all around. Completely agree with you. Grandosaurus, I'm furious, but I'm a bit cheered up with the 49ers losing. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. You gotta love when the 49ers lose. The overreactions are crazy. I completely agree with you, man. I'd rather watch the Rams versus Ravens game from 2 seasons ago again. Ooh, that was a tough one to watch. I'm not sure if I'd agree with that. Let's see. Where was the defense, Pork Champ Bread? Yeah, defense and offense was not executing very well, and I feel like there were just a lot of things that got exploited today, and we definitely did get outcoached. I still fully expect us to be able to bounce back against these Seattle Seahawks. I feel like the Rams never lose really bad and then lose again. I feel like they always have a way of bouncing back, and we know the Seahawks, obviously they know us, but I feel like we can go into Seattle and play them Thursday night and get the win. Let's see. Are they about to score? David, I have no idea because I quit watching the game. It was just making me too depressed. I didn't want to watch anymore when I knew that it was out of hand. Let's see. It says final score 20-37. Rough game. We got to do a better job of letting our defense rest. Yeah, it's kind of hard when they're ripping us apart all game. You kind of want to keep your best players out there, but you don't want to get them hurt or anything. I don't know why people are overreacting. It's too early. Morris is bad. I'm not excusing the offense either. Now we have to play in a short week against Seattle in Seattle. I can see us losing to that too. To be honest, man, yeah, I completely agree with you. The overreactions are just crazy. I don't agree with all of them personally. But I honestly do think that we can go into Seattle and get the win. And again, it's just been kind of something, especially under McVay. Whenever the Rams lose bad or whenever they lose, they always seem to get a good bounce back win, especially after a loss like this. So I'm expecting that to happen. Lil Murray will do this to a lot more than the Rams. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Wildman's from Murray says Rams can only score a garbage touchdown. With this defense, we won't even get to the Super Bowl. Very sad to say as a Rams fan. Good luck to the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. I feel like, again, this can be fixed, and I do think that we have the team and the pieces to do it. We'll see what happens, and tough loss to swallow. Hopefully we can bounce back. Side note, are the Bills the best in the AFC? They look nasty. I mean, yeah, that's a good argument. I feel like they could be either them or the Browns. The Unknown Break says, GG Cardinals fans, you played a great game. Yeah, they definitely did. Let's see. They better forget this game, and I mean fast. Yeah, I hope they do, and that's going to be the only way you get around it. You got to have a short memory in the NFL. If they're still dwelling on this by the time Thursday comes around, even by tomorrow when it comes around, I think that's going to put you into some trouble. Some of y'all were not St. Louis fans, and it shows. Yeah, exactly, man. I've been a fan of the Rams my whole life, and I knew the St. Louis days when they were bad in that long stretch. So yeah, this is nothing compared to that. Let's see. Chargers did it too in SoFi. A bad loss. Yeah, let's see. LA Rams Steak says the Rams came out and walked this team. Yeah, exactly. Dark Saber, this is just not good. I hope we can play against the Hawks or play good against the Hawks. Yeah, and I fully expect us to do that. AMS, welcome to the stream. He says, I scrolled all the way down. I guess I'm gonna be reading these comments now. Somebody says AJ Green caused matchup problems. We didn't have the luxury to spy Murray. Rams will be fine. Yeah, I think that this is, again, you got to dwell on it and work on the mistakes that you had, but you have to have a short memory, go into Seattle, get that divisional win, because we have already lost to our first divisional game, and I'm expecting us to come out to win next week versus Seattle. They'll be ready. I love my team. Yeah, that's the right attitude. I love the Rams too. I'm sure all of you guys do that are in this stream. Hopefully we can get the win. And I think that we can, make a statement, and we'll see what happens in Seattle, but I think we can get it. Have we lost 2 in a row before? That's a great question. I actually don't know the answer to that. to me, in my mind, I feel like it's probably happened. Like, I would think that's probably possible for that to happen, but I don't know if we have lost 2 in a row before. Let's see. It was a bad game. Toss it out. It happens. We will still be 14-3. Yeah, exactly. I think that, again, you got to forget about this and move on, get a win. Let's see. I'm really curious, though. I don't know if we've ever lost 2 in a row. Next week, it's up to the 49ers to kill the Cardinals. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, we can get as many divisional losses aside from us, out of the way and be able to beat up on Seattle. Jim Foster, they need to play angry now. I agree with you. Rams got slaughtered worse than worse than when the Cows escaped Pico Rivera. Yeah, it was a bad loss, definitely. The Hawks defense is terrible, if I can recall. But yeah, and a lot of people expected us to put up points and do a lot of things on the Cardinals, and look what happened. I mean, it really is any given Sunday. If it happens sometimes, a loss like this is good, lights a fire. Yeah, exactly, and it can just spark an energy for us to come out and destroy them next time, hopefully. Let's go. My Cards are 4-0. Congratulations, man. Let's see. We lost 2 in a row last season, Jets then Seahawks. Oh, I did not realize those were back-to-back. I do remember that now, though. Let's see. Yes, that was the first time in the McVay era, though. Yeah, exactly. LCD Jet, dang, RD didn't do squat, and even Jalen kind of struggled from seeing all the yards D-Hop got. Well, yeah, you can't just look at all the yards that he got because it's not Ramsey just on him the whole entire game. It really wasn't. And again, for all the people just blaming this loss on our defense, yes, we needed to get those stops, and yes, we needed to improve. But our offense was also not looking that good, and you have to acknowledge that as well in the coaching. Let's see. This game could have easily been last week. That's how I see it. Yeah, I mean, again, it really is any given Sunday. Hopefully, again, we can come out with a win next week, and hopefully we can just go on a tear from now. I know that from the expressions on the Rams' faces the whole game, they just seemed completely off. They seemed just completely out of it and just frustrated. And that's not usually something we see, and usually after that, we see the bounce back performances, so hopefully we see that again. It was a toss-up from the start. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. I felt like this game right from the start and just from kickoff, it was just kind of a weird game. I don't know. I just got that sort of weird vibe. I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of what I felt like. It was just kind of a weird vibe. And then it got into those executional issues and then the coaching issues. Then you're seeing these Cardinals just be able to put points on you. And, that early Cooper Cup drop that would have extended the drive, hopefully got us into the end zone, was crucial. But even when the Cardinals scored that touchdown and they kept scoring, I was like, okay, I mean, we got Stafford. We've looked great. We can just continue to put up points on them and go back and forth, and hopefully we can come out on top. But then our offense was really clumsy, and then our defense continued to struggle, and it just all didn't work out. Let's see. McVay sprinted like she said her parents weren't home when the Bucks went to the game at half. The game looked sad. Yeah. Totally not, Jay. Does anyone else think that McVay was getting a little too overconfident? Maybe this will be good for the team. It definitely will be good for the team in the long run. Right now, I know they're hurting, and I know that they aren't feeling good. The Cardinals definitely are. But yeah, maybe McVay was a little overconfident. When the game started, I just had that feeling that we weren't ready. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of weird to me. I feel like the game, even this week, just came up really quick. And then when the kickoff happened, I was like, the game's already started. And then it really felt like we just really weren't prepared for these Cardinals. And it just felt like we weren't ready at all to handle the challenge. Again, the executional issues were bad. The coaching was bad. And I feel like, again, a lot of people will blame this loss on the defensive side, but it was on both sides, and it's also on the coaching. I'm very happy for Henderson, though. Yeah, I'm happy for him, but I wish he got more carries with how good he was looking. Jim Foster, this is a typical after an emotional game versus Tampa, and we won 8 in a row versus Arizona. A lot of averages, they'll eventually win. Yeah. Gave me PTSD of Goff, yeah. D lineman couldn't get off the blocks, yeah, and he was able to scramble around. There's just, again, a ton of executional issues that we had for sure. But he wasn't just mad at Stafford. I don't know who you're talking about there. I don't know if you're talking about McVay or something, but I'm not putting it all on Matthew Stafford. I'm not putting it all on the Rams defense. I'm not putting it all on the Rams offense. I'm not doing that. I think this was a complete team loss and a complete coaching loss and executional loss all around. It wasn't just one thing to blame. Honestly, there's just tons of things, and this is something you definitely need to get up early tomorrow to recognize what you did wrong, correct those, and then move on to your quick short week preparation for Seattle. Let's see. Hey Ramley, it's all good. Let's get prepared for the Hawks and let's grab control of the ship. Definitely, I love the positivity there, Unknown Brick. I agree with you. Let's go out there in Seattle, do what we can. This game's behind us now. We can't control anything that happened in the past. Now let's go to the future and control what happens in there. Just wasn't the Rams' day. Completely agree with you, SM. Twin Frank says, we will be fine, Rams fans. Let's get ready for Seattle divisional game. Yeah, I love that positivity. I do believe we will be fine, and I do believe we can still go to the Super Bowl and win it. Let's see. Yo, the 49ers lost. Let's go. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Let's see. We got worked. Yeah, I agree with you. But he guesses this next game versus Seahawks is almost a must-win game. Yeah, you could argue that, but I'm not sure if I'd go there yet. But at the same time, in the NFC West, that's just kind of the way that it works. It seems like every game's a must-win game if you want to be at the top of the division. And yeah, I feel like we can go out there in Seattle and beat them. And we just got to look past what happened this game, obviously correct those errors, and move on. Niners lost. That's some good news, yeah. No team loss. Jim Foster, look at our next 5 games coming up. We will be favored. We will be favored every game. We will be fine. Yeah, and I just feel like this team is not a team to consistently do this. It's really, this is why we overreact a lot of the times when a loss like this happens, because our team just doesn't do this usually. So I don't see us continuing this path. Niners need to beat the Cards next week. Definitely. Michelle Fumble gave them all the momentum. Yeah, definitely. It felt like momentum was on their side early, too. Let's see. Michelle... Oh, no, I already got that one. We will get our revenge in Arizona. Definitely, definitely. Make those crowds walk away out of the stadium early, you know. Let's see. Michelle made me sick with that fumble, definitely. He's definitely going to be in the dog pound. Yeah, and he's been consistent and pretty good with the snaps that he's had so far on this Rams team, but that one definitely gave the momentum swing to them. But it'll be good for our division. Yeah, if we can get all these losses and hopefully we can get some wins, definitely. I expect to see more Funk next week. We'll see what happens there. It just doesn't seem like we want to run a lot of the times. Hopefully we can run a little bit more of the time, so we'll see. We destroy Seattle on Thursday. I'm not impressed with them at all. Brian Smith says, yeah, again, any given Sundays, we have to remember we could be favored in this game. We could win, again, like Arizona's a perfect example. We could have won the last 8 games in a row. Doesn't make this an easy win. I do, however, think that we will come out with a win just because it just seems like the Rams always seem to bounce back after tough losses. Fringosaurus, sometimes I hate being a Rams fan. Everyone around us is good. Yeah. William Bloxon, yep, it's over. Yep, it's over. Now our game's over. I got your back Thursday. Yeah, exactly, man. I love the people looking ahead to Thursday and knowing that our season's not over. The sky is not falling for the Los Angeles Rams. That is really where we're at. That's the realistic thinking. We don't need to cut everybody. We don't need to trade everybody. We will be fine. This was just a tough loss, and you gotta correct everything from it. I'm a Chiefs fan, and when they fumbled, I got flashbacks. Oh no. Robert says, do you think Arizona's better than us? To be honest, I don't think that they are, and that could be Rams bias. You could, say whatever you want with that, but I honestly don't. I feel like our coaching is normally a lot better than the Cardinals. Today, they were the better coaching staff, the better team all around. I would say on the normal, I would favor the Rams to be the better team. Again, you could call that Rams bias, but I feel like we have some of the better players and a more round team, a more built-up team all around us. And our coaching staff doesn't usually whiff this bad. But again, you still got to give credit to those Arizona Cardinals. The Unknown Brick, I think we have a slight better team than the Cards, Robert, but they played better than us for sure today. Yeah, I agree with you, man. That's exactly the way I'd put it. TJ Burr says, rise up, Red Sea. No, hopefully no more Red Sea rises up next game. Hopefully we can get you guys next time. William Boxon, hate being a Rams fan. I've been one for 53 years. Best thing I could have done. That's the right attitude, man. Definitely. You got to make it through all the struggles and the mishaps to get to the good points. And today was nothing near to some of the other mishaps the Rams have had in the past. Rudy De La Rosa says, "Oh, what happened to y'all blowing us out?" I don't expected. If you go back to my preview, I did not expect us to blow you guys out. I expected a close game, high scoring for us to come out on top. So I don't know. Maybe other Rams fans are saying that, but I don't agree with that. We are usually a very organized and quick functioning team, and it's almost always perfect. On some days, this is definitely one of them that we are off. I agree with you. We're usually a really good executional team, and we aren't usually the ones shooting ourselves in the foot with penalties and just bad plays all around. And our coaching staff is usually a ton better than this. And again, you got to give credit to the Arizona Cardinals for coming out on top, getting the win. But this is just very abnormal for the Rams and that organization. Score was right, but wrong teams. Oh yeah, that's the score you predicted for the Rams, but it was reversed. That's definitely not fun. Hopefully you can get the win. I love being a Rams fan. Yeah, I do too. Unknown Brick. We owe you one, Rudy. Definitely. No one said it, but be a blowout. Yeah, no one said it would be a blowout. Definitely. I think a lot of us were thinking that we were going to win this game just because of the past history and just how well this Rams team usually works. But I don't think I ever saw anybody think we were going to get a blowout, and I definitely did not think that. Cardinals defense made a mockery of the Rams D. Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals definitely did a lot better on the defensive side. They had a lot of the answers for what we were doing. There were some plays where they definitely missed, and, it was an opportunity for us to take advantage of it and take over for that, but we just didn't, and that's not, usually the good teams take advantage of that. Usually that's what we are doing, but it's definitely not something that happened today. You guys definitely outcoached us and you outplayed us all the way around. Hopefully we can get the win in going into Seattle, and definitely one of those tough games to watch for sure. But yeah, honestly, this game is just gonna be one of those. Obviously, it's a loss early to a divisional opponent. You don't like to see those. You want to win every divisional game, but we've already lost one. The only thing we can do now is build on it and try to win the rest of our divisional games, win all the games we can, because again, you cannot correct anything that you did in the past and fix it from the past, but you can work on those mistakes, correct them, and then come out way better against the Seattle Seahawks and whoever is next in front of you. Zandler Torres says, "Is our defense at the bottom of the league overall? It seems like we are giving up way too many yards every week." I mean, yeah, that's the thing a lot of people look at is the yards that we give up. To me, as long as you're beating them and and making sure you're tightening down when it matters and not letting them give up points, I mean, that's what matters to me. But as far as yards go, we may be near the bottom of the league. We are giving up a lot of yards, but we'll see how the rest of this goes with Raheem Morris. Maybe our rushing D. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. We definitely are giving up yards, but we'll see what happens the rest of the season. I don't think this is going to be something that is going to continue, but we'll see. Let's see if I can. There we go. Let's see. There are some days where we make mistakes and we still get the win. We are a team. What the? We just deleted everything here. Okay, there we go. Let's try this again. There's some days where we make mistakes and still get the win. We are a team that can get over those losing turnover the battle, and some days, so I'm not worried. Yeah, all around, we're just usually a really good functioning team, like somebody mentioned earlier. We usually don't have these types of losses, and we usually do rebound. And they don't usually get beat deep, which is why we have to see the chunks underneath. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me on my post-game thoughts. Definitely an ugly game to come out of. Hopefully we can get the win. Congratulations to the Arizona Cardinals. Hopefully we get you guys next time. And it's been me, Rams House. Hopefully you guys have an amazing day. And horns up and God